Hey kiddos, welcome back. Today I'm going to show you how to make homemade milk chocolate chip cookies. It's going to be so awesome, guys. So first we're going to start off with our wet ingredients. Our wet ingredients is going to be our brown sugar and our white sugar. We also have our dry ingredients, which is going to be that flour, salt, and baking powder. We also have some milk chocolate chips. I, however, prefer milk chocolate chips. If you want to use dark chocolate, white chocolate, semi sweet, or some chocolate chunks, you can definitely do that. This is your cookie. This is your show. You can do whatever you want. I just prefer milk. We also have 2 eggs. Make sure that they are room temperature. We also have 2 sticks of unsalted butter that is room temperature. It's very important that these ingredients, especially the eggs and the butter, is room temperature. Because we're going to be whipping up the sugar and the butter together, it'll be so much easier to just have it room temperature. And plus, this will ensure that our cookie will be nice and chewy and delicious. And you see how I'm making these dents in this butter? This is the perfect way to know if your butter is room temperature, because you can make those small little dents. If they're not, just ask your parents to put them in the microwave for a little while, just like 5 to 10 seconds till it gets nice and soft. If your eggs isn't room temperature, just put them in some hot water for a little bit and they will warm right on through. So let's go ahead and get started. First, guys, I'm going to gather my wet ingredients together, and that will be the sugars and our butter. And the reason why I like to use unsalted butter is because I like to control how much salt I put in my baking and my cooking. I like to control the salt. There's not if you only have if you do have salted butter, that's fine. Go ahead and use it. And I will be using my hand mixer right over here. Sorry for the horrible angle, guys. I am just working with my hands, but that's okay. So let's go ahead and get started in mixing. So you want to mix till it gets incorporated a little bit like this, but at the same time, but what we're going to do right now, we're going to scrape outside the bowl. So we're going to scrape around the bowl, under the bowl, because sometimes even with the KitchenAid mixer or even with our handheld, it can miss some points. And so you want to make sure that you scrape around the bowl, and then we're going to continue mixing, and it should look a little something like this. You see how smooth and uniform it is, guys, how that butter and that sugar just combined so good and everything. So you want it to look like this, nice and smooth, kiddos. We don't want a lot of clumps or bumps in our wet mixture. So now what we're going to do is we're going to add 1 egg at a time. It's very important that you do this step 1 egg at a time. We're not going to you don't want to combine them all at once. This will make sure that our cookie is nice, succulent, and just chewy, honey. And then I like to add in a little of our vanilla. And normal, this is supposed to be like 1 teaspoon, but I like to go a little above and beyond when it comes to vanilla. So I add like 3. You can add as much as you like. And then we're going to go ahead and add in our last egg. We're going to go ahead and get that mixed and combined. And then it's important again, scrape your bowl, guys. Make sure that we didn't miss any air pockets. Make sure that everything is combined okay. And we just want to make sure that this, we won't miss anything. And so make sure it's all nice and smooth. You see how pretty that is? It's like cinnamon butter, just gorgeous. So now we're going to shift our dry ingredients with the flour, the salt, and the baking powder. And if you don't have a shifter, kids, that's totally fine. Just take a whisk and whisk it around, and we're going to add in half of it first, mix, and then we're going to add in the other half. So let's go ahead and add that first half. Takes our mixer, and yes, make sure you scrape that spatula. We don't want to miss nothing, okay? Nothing at all. So go ahead and take whatever you're using to mix with and give it a couple seconds and let it twirl. Turn it off. Add in the other remaining ingredients. There we go. Oh, it's look good already. And also, kids, always remember, we're going to clean as we go, because we don't want to make a ton of mess in mommy and daddy's kitchen. We're going to clean as we go. And go ahead and keep mixing until it gets well combined. So this is what it looks like, all nice and pretty. And we didn't overwork our dough. And like I said, a handheld mixer will work well with this. If you don't have a handheld mixer, if you got a KitchenAid, you can use that as well. But I prefer the handheld, and it's really important that we scrape everything. And now we're going to add in our chips. You can add whatever kind of chips you like I stated before. I've also added in some pecans to this one time, toffee, caramel bits. I've also added in walnuts. And now what we're going to do, instead of using our mixer, we're going to gently fold our chips into our dough, because we've done so much of this dough already. We don't want to overwork it. So take your spatula, dip it and flip it over, and that's how you fold. Then we're going to take some saran wrap, put saran wrap on top of your dough, and we're going to put this in the refrigerator. Why? Because we're working with butter. If we put this into the oven right now, which should be preheated to 350 degrees, our cookies are going to turn out flat and crispy. And baby, we don't want that, kids. We do not want no flat and crispy cookie. What we want a nice, beautiful, decadent, chewy cookie. So we're just gonna cover this with saran wrap. Ask your parents to help you put this in the refrigerator and let it chill for like 30 minutes to an hour. And while then, your oven should be preheated to 350 degrees. Then we're gonna get a baking sheet. We're gonna get a cookie scoop. If you don't have a cookie scoop or an ice cream scoop, use a spoon. That's okay. Just place them on the tray, 2 fingers apart or 2 inches apart from one another, because they will spread a little bit. And so make sure that they're on a cookie sheet with some parchment or some foil, so that it can come off easily. And it'll be baking for 10 minutes, and boom, kiddos, look at our cookies. They're just out here resting. And yeah, and look, we got some beautiful cookies. It only takes about 10-11 minutes in the oven for 350 degrees. And this is what we have: beautiful, decadent, chewy milk chocolate cookies. Thank you so much for looking, guys, and watching. Love you.